Now, it was an early time when they started noticing that there was, quote, activity, you might say, unquote. There was a cholera epidemic. Many people died from that. The people who were here on post blamed the, you can call them ghosts, the beings, the whatever you want to call them. They were blamed on the death of all the people. Now later on, things were a little more authenticated. Back in 1975, when a young sergeant was taking care of that side of the Quarters A, because Quarters A has always been a museum, Quarters B has always been in use either as a building for parties, small parties, gatherings, or else quarters. Anyway, the sergeant's job was to check the quarters every morning when he came in, and then check them again every night when he went out, so that nothing was lost, nothing was out of place, nobody was left inside. One of the times he came out, started to come out to lock the door up, and from upstairs he heard this few times, like a cavalryman putting on boots. He immediately went upstairs. There was nobody there. Everything was just the way it was supposed to be. Well, it bothered him a little bit, but he forgot about it. Sometime later, when he was working, he was checking everything downstairs, time to leave, checking everything upstairs, straightened out the beds so that they were nice and neat for the next morning. Came down, locked the house, left. He came back the next morning. He checked everything downstairs. The lamps were in place, the silverware was in place, the chairs, everything was in place. Went upstairs. Everything was in place, the way he had left it. Except somebody or something or something had slept in all of the beds. The beds were all messed up. Now the house had been locked up tight. Who do you suppose was sleeping in those beds? In 1978, a young little private was taking care of the quarters. She would do the same thing. Check in every morning, make sure everything was okay. Check everything at night, making sure it was okay. On one occasion, after she checked downstairs, she went upstairs, checked everything. Everything was in perfect order. She took the little bear and fluffed him up, who always sat on the children's bed. Made a nice little place for him between the pillows. Came, checked everything downstairs, locked up, left. Came back the next morning. Everything downstairs was in order, just the way it had been left. Went upstairs. Everything seemed in order. Uh-oh. Where was the bear? There was no bear. She looked around the room. There he was, over in the other corner of the bedroom, on the children's rocking horse, rocking away, rocking away. She said he even had a little smirk on his face. Now, this was a stuffed bear, a toy. Now, how did he get from the bed to the rocking horse? And how did he keep that horse rocking? With a smirk on a face that's sewed on? Interesting. In 1981, this set of quarters was occupied by a captain, his wife, and 2 children. A young teenage girl down the street was their babysitter. One night while she was babysitting, she put the children to bed, made sure that they were asleep, started to come downstairs, and she heard a rocking. The rocking of a full-size rocking chair, rocking back and forth and back and forth. There was no rocking chair in this set of quarters. This disturbed her, but she had homework to do, so she did her homework. On another occasion, when she was babysitting, she had put the children to bed, came downstairs, started to do her homework, and she heard footprints, like people walking. Heard some furniture moved. Went back upstairs. Everything was where it belonged. The children were sound asleep. She had to put her head against the wall again. Thick walls. And she heard footsteps on the other side. And furniture moving. Now this really disturbed her, so she called her mother. And her mother came over. And her mother heard the same noises. Footsteps and furniture being moved on the other side of that thick wall. Just a couple of years ago, the Historical Society had some paranormals come and put videos in both sets of quarters. The next day, they came and got the videos, took them, had them developed. This side was clean. Nothing. They developed side quarters A. It showed movement in all of the videos. Now remember, when they put those videos in, those doors and windows were all locked. There wasn't a soul in there. But it showed movement on the videos. Who do you suppose that could be? I can't guarantee, or I can't verify, all these stories are true. However, I think the last one I could verify, because I'm the mother. Believe it or not. Happy Halloween.